the thing is, I do believe there was talk about these things. I believe if we study history, the Confederates were able to shoot pterodactyls, back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online.
Google it
They
yourself.
spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, they spread this thing out, and it's got a huge winglet. It was a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so...
What I'm saying is Jesus wrote a dinosaur to work. That's history. It's in the Bible. How to Train Your Dragon.
Historical facts.
And if you don't believe it, do your own research. Pull up Google. You'll find the picture, I promise.
Oh my God.
Thank you, John Gleason, Godless engineer, for gifting me this beautiful moment. Y'all remember when they tried to cancel Steven Spielberg for posing with an animatronic triceratops animal rights activist?
Back it up.
Hit it from the back.
Cloaca. Historical facts.
Eat my ass, BP. You're down here bailing on the rest of us because you don't want to process your grief and shame like a normal person by drinking and mistreating strangers.
No, Rick. It is you who must nibble my cloaca, or bird asshole.
Everyone knows what a cloaca is.
back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online. They spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, they spread this thing out, and it's got a huge winglet. It's a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so...
Paul Bunyan was sharing some Funyuns with his pet velociraptor.
Whoa.
Oh, you thought it was an ox? Roll back the clock. Let me knock the socks off. Historical facts.
I didn't cut out. You heard me. You a pervert or something? Okay.
What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? I'm the Godless Engineer, and I critically analyze apologist claims to give you the best arguments and information so that you can stand up and use your voice. Tonight, we're going to be taking a look at a rather unknown YouTuber on YouTube, and, of course on YouTube, but we're going to be taking a look at a very small video in terms of views that claims to have proof that God exists. This proof comes in the form of crystals. He's got this argument using a certain kind of crystal that apparently proves that God made everything, or at least is the author of everything, or whatever. So obviously, I feel like this is going to be just the best stream ever. We may come out to be theists in the end. Who knows? Some might call us potential theists out here looking for proof that God exists. So if you want to fuck around and find out whether or not you're going to become a theist by this proof using crystals, then please stay tuned. All right, heathens. Well, tonight we have a full slate. We've got some news to cover. We've got some comments to cover. Then Brocephus is going to stop by and explain some bullshit to us. And then we're going to have the actual video. So come back in about 45 minutes if you don't want to hear any of this other funny-ass bullshit. But you're going to be missing out on a whole lot of stuff, like Super Chats. We got Limited Light that says, today, let's see, hold on. I got to get my banjolele. Today I learned. I don't know. Today, but Limited Light did a whole lot better than I did the other day. He made it sound all metal and everything like that, and I just haven't had a chance to actually work that into like something that I could just play. But anyways, so we got a full slate tonight. If you would like to take part in the live stream tonight, please consider sending a super chat like Limited Light did, as well as I'm expecting a Daniel tweet to come in here soon. Huh? Sorry, super chat. A Daniel super chat to come in here soon. But if you want to take part, give us, any of your ideas. You want to say something that you want me to react to live here on the stream, please consider sending in a super chat. You could also help support us here at Godless Engineer by becoming a mafioso or a Skeptic Mafia member. We have various tiers that you could join at. The Shield tier gives you access to the basic emojis, while the Mafioso tier gives you access to pretty much everything else. And then there are other tiers if you want to increase your support there. So consider becoming a Skeptic Mafia member. I know I'd really appreciate it, but I'd really like to get back to a position where we could start donating again to charities, because we kind of had to put that on hold due to YouTube being rather stingy with the revenue. What? A bitch? Yes, YouTube's a bitch. And they've been really stingy with revenue lately, so we've had to kind of cut back on our charitable giving, but we'd love to get back to a good place where we can start to do that again. If you will, please help us do that. All right, so we've got crystals tonight. Not the type of crystals that'll heal a broken foot or something like that, but, crystals that'll prove God, not crystal meth. I keep coming up with different kinds of crystals. Oh, this, actually, I got this. It was labeled a seer stone. That apparently would be used by somebody like Joseph Smith to see the messages of God. I did. I got you a seer stone for Christmas. I don't know how you're supposed to see shit through that, but maybe it redirects through your third eye.
If you put this over your eye and wink, you can see out this way.
Oh yeah. We got Doubtful Form who says Banjalele, do tell. So it was recently was our 5th anniversary. Our wood anniversary, and I got her a few things that were wood related. Giggity. And then she got me something kind of sort of, well, it is wood related because it's wood. It's definitely wood. But it's a banjalele. So it's a ukulele, but banjo. See? And it actually sounds really good. It's pretty loud. I haven't tuned it today, obviously, so I'm used to playing a trumpet, so this is a totally different kind of method for playing an instrument for me. So I know the basics of songs and everything like that, but as far as actually having rhythm, I don't fucking have that. But yes, Banjalele. Thank you, Doubtful Form. Then Elizabeth Richardson says, shh. Don't piss off Daddy YouTube, else you'll never get your ad revenue back up. Yeah, it's not YouTube either. Facebook actually... Sorry. Yeah, it's not just YouTube that's been a bitch lately. Facebook has also slapped me on the wrist and has shadow banned me, or at least the page on Facebook, to where hardly anybody sees it. And I know that I'm still shadow banned because I can post something on Facebook. It does fabulous over there on Instagram, a couple of hundred shares. Whereas on Facebook, it gets 15. And that's because Facebook, they literally told me this in a message, you're also going to get restricted organic reach. And so, yeah. Anyways, so that's it. All right. Thank you so much for your super chats, everybody. I appreciate that. One minor note, next week, I think that I'm going to, instead of doing a normal live stream, what we're going to do is a live call-in show for a couple of hours tomorrow afternoon sometime, whenever I can schedule that in, because I'm going on vacation right after that. Woo, vacation to lovely Hawaii. Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii, and we're going to go, and it's going to be awesome. Yeah. Neither of us have been to Hawaii. It's going to be a new experience. So we're going to go and do that. And yeah. So, all right. I know that you guys are just itching for the news this week, which it's not all new news this week, but it is news that I have yet to cover. I know that I've yet to cover it.
Covering the governor of South Dakota killing a 14-month-old puppy because she couldn't train it.
I had not heard of that.
Oh yeah, she wrote about it in her book. She killed her puppy and a goat for no fucking reason.
The governor of who?
It's South Dakota. Noam.
Christy Noam killed a puppy for shits and giggles, and she couldn't apparently.
She hated the dog because it didn't hunt pheasants well enough.
Oh, apparently that dog don't hunt, so she just decided to end its life. She wrote about it in a memoir, I'm guessing.
In her book, yeah.
Okay, she wrote it in a book that she's just a fucking psychopath. Anyways, that's not scary as shit. Y'all ready for some Today I Learned shit? Today I learned some really crazy fucking shit in the news! I'm sorry, I totally interrupted you. What? Oh, you're ready? KC's ready. I gotta get ready over here. Oh, by the way, have you guys visited the GE Clips channel? I don't know if y'all... Oh, shit, did it not post? Oh, it did post. It posted somewhere. Oh. Anyways, we have a GE Clips channel. If you would like to go and see some clips from our normal videos and everything like that, please go and check it out. It's just Godless Engineer Shorts or Godless Engineer at Godless Engineer Clips. It says that it posted it, but it did not post it. Oh, nope. There's a little yellow sign. So it did not post it. Okay. Anyways, all right. Hold on. I got to get situated for the news. All right. Here we go. Y'all ready? This first one's a doozy. I loved writing about it. You ready? First up, Jewish space lasers. Woo! All right, U.S. Representative and President of the Stormtrooper Rifle Club, Marjorie Taylor Greene, seen here watching immigrants get vaporized by Greg Abbott using his Elon Musk-developed laser cannon. Do y'all remember when Elon Musk had his boring team actually make the flamethrowers? He's graduated to laser cannons. She added an amendment to the Israel defense funding bill that would set aside $4 billion of the money for Israel, set for development of a space laser to defend our southern border. Let's see. I'm going to pause real quick. Daniel M. said that David says good night. Yesterday was bring your child to work day. He did STEM activities. That's pretty cool. STEM activities are awesome. I love STEM activities because you get to create shit, build shit and everything with your hands and stuff. I'm not exactly sure why the notifications aren't popping up, but maybe they'll get fixed soon. It'll come in right as I'm talking about something else. Anyways. All right. So Marjorie Taylor Greene took to Twitter where she claimed to have previously voted to fund space lasers for Israel's defense. And the only thing that experts have been able to decipher from this statement is that she's referencing a current Israeli project called Iron Beam, which is basically a laser version of the Iron Dome. If the project were to be completed and put into use, it would reduce cost of the Iron Dome from $50,000 per missile to just $2 a shot. So,
She is so dumb.
yes, honey, she is pretty fucking dumb. Yeah, I know. I'm getting all this from a Forbes article, by the way. They went through and they figured out, the Iron Beam project and all this other stuff. So, but like the Iron Dome, this system is ground-based, not space-based. Nobody has any clue what Marge is talking about here if it's not the Iron Beam project, and one would think that funding Jewish space lasers would be the last thing she would want to do, considering she believes in the conspiracy theory that Jewish space lasers are the ones that started all those wildfires a few years back. Why would she want to fund something that she knows is just going to be used to cause destruction like that? Dumb bitch. Marge is space-based. Thanks, Cyrian, for that one. Trickster. Sorry. Not Cyrian. Trickster. Marge is space-based. I got you. Uh, she also ended up adding other amendments to both the Israeli and Ukraine funding bills to include completing the southern border wall, removing Zelensky from office, and forcing all racial minorities to go back to their own countries of origin. I mean, that last one seems pretty racist if you ask me, but, you know, coming from President Stormtrooper over here, this doesn't surprise me. That last one's sarcastic, by the way. Anyway, so Marge is wanting to fund Jewish space lasers to vaporize immigrants that are trying to cross the border. So there you go. That's what she's smiling about. Vaporized immigrants. Way to go, Marge. Is that less or more psychotic than just killing a dog because it won't hunt enough for you? They're both psychotic. That's right. All right. Next up, we have Bibles in schools. This is Oklahoma Superintendent Ryan Walters, seen here rejoicing while children are being forced to deep throat Jesus till they cry so that he can drink their tears, because that's the only way demons can exist. He recently claimed that Oklahomians don't want Biden's perverted agenda in schools. And you know what? Actually, I'm just going to let him tell you for himself. Sorry, I don't have a button for this particular thing just yet. No, honey, they don't know that the president doesn't determine what's taught in schools because, you know, they're all idiots. All right.
Biden and the unions to, and instead of allowing Biden and the unions to inject their ideology through graphic pornography like genderqueer and flamer, we want the Constitution, we want the Bible in our schools where kids understand our nation's history and what has made this country great.
So you actually want to not put the Bible in schools, but teach from the Bible in schools, which is something which I think the Supreme Court ruled against many, many years ago.
Well, yes, sir, and we need to take a look at this. The reality is the Bible is a foundational document in our country's history. Read the founders, read their letters, listen to what these men and women said about why founding a country with the freedom of religion, the free exercise of religion was so important.
That's our next dipshit we're gonna get to here in a second. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, nobody is, quote, injecting graphic pornography like gender, queer, and flamer. Second, queer people are not graphically pornographic for just simply existing. They are normal fucking people just trying to exist. Third, I'm not exactly sure what flamer means, but it sounds homophobic. It's homophobic as shit. Also, kids can bring a Bible to school if they want to. They can even read it on their spare time while they're at school. If they aren't out there doing that right now, it's probably because their parents ram that shit down their throats enough at home and at church. Also, it's a pretty shitty fucking book, and why any child would want to read that, I don't understand. Like, why any child would sit there and voluntarily read the bullshit in the Bible. It's a violation of the First Amendment to force your religion on all children in the public school system. So maybe the person that needs some education about America and the Constitution is Ryan fucking Walters. It's obvious that this motherfucker knows nothing about the founding of our country, because the founding fathers would take that Bible and turn it sideways, shove it directly up his ass, because the founders specifically crafted the Constitution and the Bill of Rights to make sure that this shit right here wouldn't happen. Get educated, you piece of shit. Sorry, the whole forcing religion on children thing in public schools really fucking gets to me. And I fucking hate it. And I wish assholes like this would get Rochambeau'd so hard.
I mean, in the first book of the Bible,
Mm-hmm. In the first book of the Bible, yes, Lot's daughters do drug, will get him drunk. Although I have a little question about that because, you know, I just have whiskey dick. Like, I feel like he would not be able to get it up. But in any case, they get him drunk and, his daughters rape him. You're right, honey. I drink whiskey and I don't get whiskey dick. So we've got tons of evidence for that. But not only that.
They're so worried about like sexual content in schools, but then they want to teach from the Bible, where literally in the first book,
right, honey, I have to ask if I'm fine if you want to add stuff in. Okay, they can't hear you at all. Only I can hear you right now. I do appreciate your input, and I would love to hear it, but I can't leave them in the dark as well. Okay. What Casey was saying was that she doesn't understand why dipshits like this guy are so against like injecting graphic pornography into our schools, while at the same time advocating for such a pornographic book as the Bible, considering all of the rape that goes into the Bible. What about all of the sexual enslavement of women in the Bible? The Bible does not give a shit about consent whatsoever. You want to talk about graphically pornographic? I feel like that kind of smut right there shouldn't be in public schools, but yet this motherfucker wants to directly teach kids about it, directly from the Bible. I don't think that needs to be in school. So I guess on one hand, I agree with him. Graphically pornographic shit shouldn't be in the Bible, or shouldn't be in public schools. But he also wants to put that in the schools by advocating for the Bible, and that I don't agree with. I mean, I'm just saying. So that's it for this guy. He needs to get educated, the dumb fuck. Fuck that guy. Next up, this is a Christo-fascist alert here. This guy right here, everybody needs to be alerted because he is definitely a threat to our society, to the American government in general. So this is Christian nationalist and local asshole who loves to kick puppies, Doug Wilson. Seen here watching non-Christians exist and being thoroughly confused as to why they're not being systematically executed. He thinks that Biden should issue a proclamation making Christianity the official religion of the United States of America and forcing every child in America to participate in said religion. And mind you, he doesn't think that this will infringe on the First Amendment rights of all Americans, and you just have to hear how he rationalizes this.
The president could issue a proclamation that acknowledged that Jesus rose from the dead, and Congress could authorize the funds to have that proclamation printed and bound, read in all the schools, and posted in all the federal courthouses. That could be fun. The Supreme Court could take up a new religious liberty case, ideally one with Jack Phillips in it, and in their decision they could reaffirm and reboot the decision of the Supreme Court in the 1892 Holy Trinity versus the United States case, in which the court determined that the United States was in fact a Christian nation, and had been such from the beginning. Or the Apostles' Creed could be incorporated into the Constitution. None of these actions would establish a particular Christian denomination as being the mascot of the government.
So he rationalizes his crazy ass position as like it doesn't establish a particular denomination as the mascot or the primary religion of America. Therefore, it's not unconstitutional. I have bad news for him. First of all, everything that he said was just blatantly false. Like, Biden can't do what he claims that Biden should do. Biden can't force everybody to read a theological pamphlet, which, by the way, he's a theologian. Like, he's not even like trying to be any kind of political anything whatsoever. He's just a theologian that has political opinions that are Christian nationalist in origin, and he pushes a Christian nationalist narrative, but he is, by trade, a theologian. He even teaches at a seminary. I believe it's a seminary. He teaches at some religious school, and he's the head of a church. So, I mean, this is all from a theologian's perspective, but he obviously doesn't understand the First Amendment because Biden wouldn't be able to do what he wants him to do. Also, that whole Supreme Court case is totally fucking bunk because the Supreme Court case did not determine that, oh, this is a Christian nation. While it may have been an opinion that was expressed in that decision, the decision was not to make the Christian religion the central religion of America. Like, that's simply misusing that particular Supreme Court case. And so everything he said was just fantastically false. It's all fucking bullshit. That's right, honey. This is all very much a clear violation of the separation of church and state. And I don't care if it's not pushing a particular denomination of Christianity. It's pushing Christianity, which places one religion above all others. Christian nationalists like this guy don't care about what is constitutional or even what a rational argument is. If they did, then they wouldn't make dumb as fuck comments like this guy made. Christian nationalism is a fascist movement that seeks to replace our current government with a theocracy, which theocracies in and of themselves are fascist dictatorships. It's like they saw Gilead as a dramatization of their wet dreams, and this guy just simply looks like he yells, "Praise Jesus!" every time he comes. Under his eye. I'm sure it hits under his eye. All right, well, that's going to be it for the news tonight. If you will, please let me know what you thought down below in the comment section. What do you think about all of this bullshit? I'd really love to hear your thoughts on it. And just let me know down below. But next up, we've got comments and more Banjalele. Hope you guys are ready for this shit. Comments of the day. Prepare to facepalm yourself into last week. Sorry, not into last week. Facepalming ourselves into next week would be better because then we'll be going to Hawaii sooner. Yeah. Daniel said, "Damn it, my roof is leaking." Oh shit. Sorry there, Daniel. Let's see. We had Elizabeth Richardson who says, "I'm graphically pornographic in my homosexual existence." That's perfectly fine. Doubtful Form says, "Freedom of religion is freedom from religion." Duh. Yeah, I totally agree there, Doubtful Form. True. All right, so we got some comments to go over, and we get a full slate of comments, so we're just going to jump right on into this. First up, we've got this guy, Johnny McBren, who says, "It would be easy to make up a diagram like this." Oh, wait, hold on. Let me start with Defender of the Cross. It's a twofer, I forgot. "This is a diagram of the Bible's cross references, and it was written over 2,000 years ago with 40 different authors. Tell me God had no part in this." Well, even if that was what the diagram was, I can easily explain to you why that would exist. What you have there is a split between Old Testament and New Testament. And so because the Old Testament references the New Testament and also the Old Testament references other Old Testament scriptures, basically, if you have a section that is referencing either itself or something that's written in the future, then the future people wrote it so that it referenced those past documents. I don't this is something that commonly gets stated in a lot of apologist circles. Like they feel like you have to be magical as fuck in order for you in the future to write shit that references things that are already written. I don't understand why they are convinced by this bullshit, but for some reason you got to be a magical wizard that exists outside of time and space in order to do that. I don't get it. Anyways, So then Johnny says, oh, wait, I just want to point out that this is actually shit, hold on. This right here is actually a diagram made up by Sam Harris's organization that connects all the contradictions together. So, like, if you were to take a very literal look at the Bible as one document that was written by God or something like that, there should be no contradictions, to be quite honest, if it was written by one person, meaning to spread one message. But this is just a map of all the different contradictions. And I mean, you can look this up. It's a contradiction map. I remember because I made memes about it. Like in the past, I've got like all of the data on my computer that was used for this. So, I mean, this is an old image. But anyways, Johnny McBrien says, it would be easy to make up a diagram like this, but I'm telling you, as someone who has deeply questioned Christianity with an open mind, that the Bible is miraculous. No other holy book compares or even claims to as far as prophecy is concerned. Check it out for yourselves. Again, prophecy is not convincing. And you know why? Because people later knew what the document said, and so they wrote knowing what the document said, and so they had the prophecies be fulfilled, however they were interpreting them. So, like, that works especially for the New Testament, but the Old Testament even has a lot of this shit going on in it too, because events will happen in the past, and then they will write documents that are set before the events happened that quote-unquote prophecy what actually happened in reality. And sometimes they don't even get that shit right. Like, that's how inept the Bible is. All right, that's it for this dumbass comment. Next up is this one. So you get the very progressive preacher there saying, Jesus never said anything about abortion. That means it's okay to have one. I don't think that necessarily means, like, from a progressive Christian standpoint, that it's okay to have one. It's just that the arguments that a lot of traditional leaning Christians use to advocate for, restricting abortion is not valid, because Jesus doesn't say anything about abortion in the Bible, according to this meme. So it's a bit wrong-headed here. It's portraying a straw man argument. But then the traditionalist comes in and says, did Jesus say anything about burning heretic preachers who advocate for infanticide on the stake? Well, no. I mean, Jesus didn't say anything about that. But if Jesus accepts the Old Testament and everything in it, and if Jesus is God, and God is the same past, present, and future, then it seems like God was perfectly fine with burning people at the stake as a sacrifice. Jephthah, his daughter, was burned at the stake. God knew that was going to happen, and God still pinky sweared and helped him win the battle, and she was eventually burned, which, funny enough, I actually had a comment that was like, it doesn't actually say that she was burned at the stake, just that she was offered up to God. I'm like, nope, see at the very beginning of this fucking chapter here in Judges, it says, I will offer up anything of the first thing that runs out of my house as a burnt offering. So he definitely burnt his daughter for God, and God soaked up the sweet smells. It's a lot like Christy Noam killing a dog in that respect. Anyways, so yeah, there would be no problem. Jesus would have no problem with that. Anyways, the preacher goes, no, not really. Why? And then, of course, the psychopath there standing with a torch says, no reason. I'm about to burn your ass there, preacher. And so, it's just, I love how there's infighting in the Christians now. Oh, I mean, that's not a new thing. Christians have been fighting with themselves forever. Like, for a long time. They've always fought each other. What? Since they existed. That's right, hun. Oh, man. Next up is Redeemed Zoomer. I don't know if y'all remember him. I've actually got a video that I'm going to be editing together and getting with where both Limited Light and I, who Limited Light is Professor Sargent, and we actually got together and we responded to the mathematical argument from Redeemed Zoomer, and I'm going to be putting that out recently. soon at least. So Redeemed Zoomer says, if the PC USA passes that overture this summer, which forces gay affirmation, we lead a lay revolution against our apostate ministers, just like how John Knox had laymen lead the churches when qualified ministers were in short supply. And then, of course, there's another Christian says, why not do that now? And Redeemed Zoomer says, waiting to see if we could still cooperate with the institution in any way. So the PC USA, what's PC USA? Presbyterian Church. I felt like I didn't think Redeemed Zoomer was a Presbyterian, but maybe he is. So basically, I feel like what Redeemed Zoomer is saying here is that we should lead a revolution against the current ministers who are being progressive and being accepting of LGBTQ individuals in the Christian community. And he wants to depose all of the ministers that affirm LGBTQ individuals and then replace them with people that are just simply not trained. Like I believe in God and I can preach to you. I can read from the Bible and tell you to do what it say. Like, apparently that's what he wants to do. Like, this is so weird. Can you imagine a civil war breaking out? But it's not like a civil war, where it pits American against American, but it's like Christian against Christian civil war. All of us atheists are just standing by like, oh shit, did you see them? They had pitchforks and like torches. They were tiki torches too, and they were dressed in fucking khakis and white shirts and stuff. They had the racist uniform on, and they were going to go and fuck up those churches. Did y'all see them marching? Oh, just the Presbyterian ones. They don't care about the other ones. So, we just, will we just sit by and watch, or do we call the cops? Like, what are we supposed to do here? I mean, here in Alabama, we got all sorts of Christians. Well, I mean, we got Catholics, Seventh-day Adventists, Mormons. We've got every flavor of Christian down here. It'd just be kind of weird to see one group of Christians splintering and fighting each other. Like, just, it seems weird. All right. Next up is Candace Owens. Candace Owens says, Christian nationalism is not and has never been a threat. I mean, it is a threat, and it has always been a threat. It's been a threat since the end of the Civil War, Christian nationalism has. So I don't know what you're talking about there, Candace Owens. I heard a guy on TikTok that was ranting about Candace Owens, and he said that she would do anything to please the dandruff demons. I don't know. I think he's talking about like the white Christian nationalists that she's like trying to appease. That's the only thing I can think of. Anyways, she goes on to say, our country has collapsed because people who despise Christ removed him from the classrooms, then engaged atheism and never-ending Protestant sects in his place. Well, so our country hasn't collapsed. Like, I don't think Candace Owens knows what a collapsed country looks like. Like, I mean, we've got examples of countries collapsing. I mean, what was it? The Soviet Union collapsed. And did it collapse into the USSR, or was it the USSR that? Oh, it was. Well, I know that there was one form of government in Russia that collapsed, and then another one rose up. I can't remember what the two were, because there were two different forms of government. Anyways, so I mean, we have examples of these things happening in the past. America has not collapsed. Oh yeah, Soviet Union to Russian Federation is what it is. Thank you for that, Cyrian. But anyways, Christ has not been removed from the classrooms. The only thing that's been removed has been a stop on the proselytizing in classrooms. That's not removing Christ from the classrooms. You can be a Christian. You can have Christ. Hell, I went to school. There were people with like Christ the Christian crosses on and everything like that. Like they were all Christed up. And, you can even have Christian clubs at schools. I mean, those are given preferential treatment as we've seen as of late. So, I mean, Christ has not been removed from schools. Christ has just been tapered a little bit as far as Christianity goes, to not be so for people not to proselytize him like school officials to proselytize Jesus in the classroom. So I don't know what she's talking about. Encouraged atheism. I don't know who's encouraged atheism. I mean, I encourage atheism, but I'm a private citizen. I can do whatever the fuck I want to. Never-ending Protestant sects. Like, I don't understand that. Maybe she's really upset that there are so many different sects of Christianity. I don't know. Anyway, she continues. They lied about everything. The Crusades, the Inquisition, the Bolsheviks, all of it. What exactly was lied about that? Like, the Crusades were horrible. The Inquisition was horrible. I mean, I don't know about the Bolsheviks. Like, that could be shitty too. I mean, I just don't know what her complaint even is. Like, what was the lie? Tell us what the lie was. This is good news, by the way, because it reveals how much they fear Christians uniting. I don't fear Christians uniting. Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I do. Like, if all Christians united and was like, we're going to take over the country, I feel like they would be like, oh, shit, we're already in power. What are we going to do? They're never going to do that? No, I can't imagine all Christians uniting. I mean, like, I could see some of them being like, come on, we all believe Jesus resurrected from the dead. Yeah, but do you have to get fully dunked to be baptized, or can you just do a little bit of a spray thingy? Can I shoot you with one of those super soakers and you'll be baptized? Well, no, I mean, you're still going to hell for that. And then they kill each other. Time is now. Christ is king. All right. The time is now, everybody. Get your pitchforks and your khakis. And then finally we got this person. I'm not sure who it is. They're a dipshit. As a real woman. Yeah, I'm good. Who follows God. I could tell you the Bible doesn't have woke pronouns and gender confused people. I mean, I don't know about the whole gender confused thing exactly. Like, I can't think off the top of my head who I could directly label as gender quote unquote confused, but pronouns are used regularly throughout the Bible. Also, let's see, there's a Bible verse. I'm gonna real quick typing into Google Bible verse. I am he. John 18. Several verses. Jesus of Nazareth, they replied. I am he, Jesus said. When Jesus said, I am he, they drew back and fell to the ground. Again, he asked them, who is it you want? And they said, Jesus of Nazareth. I am told that I am he, Jesus answered. I am not, I am king. Fucking woke ass pronouns. And I mean, if you want to talk about he, him, and they, them, and everything like that, like Jesus uses he to refer to himself. Like, very obviously, the character in the Bible definitely refers to himself as a he, him, right? And then, of course, demons, as Jesus portrays them, are they, thems. So, I mean, I'm just saying, like, the Bible is not exactly friendly. As far as that portrayal goes, but it's definitely used there. Like, pronouns in general are just basic grammar and like English skills that you probably should have learned. Like, when do you learn that shit? Like in elementary school? Like, I feel like elementary school is when you learn like pronouns in, right. Basic parts of speech and shit. Anyways, this person continues, Jesus wasn't polytrans gay. Polytrans gay. They're all different things, and somebody can be all those things. They can be polyamorous. They can be which I think that's what the poly means. I understand. I'm trying to go through it, honey. Thank you. polyamorous is having relationships with multiple people. There are, like, you know, different things to take into consideration for that. Trans, you can be trans and be in a polyamorous relationship. And then gay, you can be trans and gay at the same time, because those are two different things. One
speaks to sexuality, one speaks to gender identity, and one speaks to relationship status. They're all different things.
Right. Yes, honey. They are all different things. But I don't understand why we have to model everything that Jesus, the character, did in the Bible. Exactly. You know, of course they have to have this because that's their only argument against the LGBTQ community, other than, ew, that's gross. Like, they want to have something more than that, so they use the Bible. But anyways, Jesus wasn't poly, trans, gay like the woke San Francisco mob is. I can just imagine this woke San Francisco mob marching through, being, hey, him, we, they, I don't think that y'all are gay. I don't know. Anyways, and Wade was not a thing in the Bible era because people cared about morals. I don't know what weed has to do with morals. Like, is it immoral to have a whiskey? Some of them would. Southern Baptists would, but I will bring up Jesus and the wine. Jesus was a wino. It's alcohol. Well, I mean, regardless. Regardless, I'm drinking, you know, the safe water alternative. This is alternative water. Anyways. So, of course, hashtags are MAGA, pro-God, boo SFCA, San Francisco, California, maybe. Honestly, I didn't enjoy San Francisco, to be quite honest. Well, okay, I enjoyed our trip. I did not enjoy seeing and smelling shit all over the place. It's a very... Right. Literally seeing somebody shit on the streets. But it's a very distinct smell. Fresh baked sourdough bread and, like, wafts of trash and shit. Doubtful Form says, I know this is a sore point, but hearing rumors that Richard Dawkins is leaning towards Christianity, I suspect it's a load of horse shit. Your point of view? I think, yeah, Dawkins is a piece of shit. I don't like Dawkins whatsoever, but his whole cultural Christian kind of thing, I think, is just to placate people. It seems like a placating measure, and I feel like him bowing to that seems to give way to the Christians a little bit. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's because a lot of atheists have rejected him in general. Maybe that's pushed him towards the Christians, and he's, I guess, identified his morals with Christian morals, which I don't know what Christian morals would be if you're not pulling them directly from the Bible. But he seems to be going very much the Jordan Peterson route, and I don't care for that. And I'm not gonna. He is a weak person, maybe not for that, like leaning towards cultural Christianity, but I think in general, Richard Dawkins is a very weak person, just in general, is how I feel about him. So, anyways, that's going to be it for the comments. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And we have Brocephus that's coming by. He's going to explain some shit. I hope that you guys are ready for that. You're ready? I get. Hey, Brocephus!
Shitty ass science! Don't get the answers of science shit really wrong.
Hey there, Brocephus. What are you going to talk about tonight? Well, I'm going to talk about how Jesus Christ is real, and he's in all of us right now, working his way through. Like poop, yes, Casey, like poop. Jesus is the shit.
Oh, damn it. I walked you right into that on accident.
Yeah, you did. I don't know why I got this gun. I'm just American. I come with the gun. Everywhere I go, I'm just like, hello, I would like I would like some pepperoni pizza. Yes, Domino's. I am calling you from my gun phone. Thank you. Anyways, what's up there, heathens? I hope you're burning in hell. All right, so what we got? We got Trad West, who says, Laminin cell adhesion molecule, what holds us together, is shaped like a cross. Quote, he is before all things, and in him all things hold together. Colossians 1:17. Gotta love that Colossians right there. But sad to say, this is not true at all. In fact, this thing is only laid out like that because scientists found it easier to look at the molecule if it's situated like this. The actual molecule is not structured like this at all. Also, if you can't tell, you know, like, sorry, whoa, it's got a weird cutoff point there. It looks like I'm going behind it. Like, woo, I'm tickling Jesus's butthole. Anyways, you can tell Jesus is actually superimposed on that other picture, so it's not like Jesus is actually inside of us. But I am here to make an argument that Jesus is inside all of us. Okay? All right? Listen, if you've ever been a Christian, you've had Jesus come inside you and fill you up with his Holy Spirit juice. All right? And that right there is the thing that holds us all together. Before then, we were like those single-celled organisms that just have their organelles floating everywhere, okay? That's how we all exist as babies. And then Jesus pops a load inside of us and we just get formed into like these physical things that are just structured and everything like that. It requires Jesus in order for all of that stuff to happen, all right? We need his magic juice in order to keep all of our cells together. And the only way we get that is by going face down, ass up, and allowing Jesus to come into our hearts. Like all the way into our hearts. I'm just telling you right now, okay? That's how it happens. I'm sorry if you don't like it, but this guy right here has the right idea, but he got to it using the wrong exit, okay? It was like exit crazy town, but he still managed to get to like the right place. But in any case, so it's not laminin, it's literal Holy Spirit juice that holds us all together. I hope that you found this to be an inspirational TED Talk for you, and I guess I'm gonna have one more sip of GE's whiskey here. Y'all don't tell him that I drink his whiskey, okay? You neither. Please. Yeah. What if I give you $5? Will you not tell him? That is not what I was trying to bribe you for. Anyways, I'm going to head on out of here, guys. I will see you heathens later. I hope y'all burn in hell, and good night, fuckers. Woo, GE, I swear to Christ, I did not drink your whiskey.
You just swear to Christ and lie.
I swear to Christ a lot, okay? And lie? No, I didn't. What are you talking about? I lied. I did not lie. I got Jesus' arm up my asshole right now. There's no way I can lie.
Well, you're not talking out your ass. Well, you're kind of talking out your ass.
Honey?
What?
Did Brocephus drink my whiskey?
He might have.
He might have?
Yeah.
Did he or did he not? He did? That son of a bitch. I'm taking his blankie.
No, you're not.
I will take his fucking blankie.
No, you won't.
I'll set it on fire.
No, you will not.
I'm sorry. I went a little too far with that one. All right, so I have a video on the channel here that it kind of explains why all this is bullshit. Obviously, laminin is not the thing that Jesus put inside of us to hold us all together, or God put us inside of us to hold us all together. This is, like Brocephus said, an artistic representation of the molecule, and it's only done that way so that it's easily visible and we can investigate its parts and it can be, shown. So there's obviously nothing here that's like, oh, Jesus, and kind of shit, everything like that. So somebody on the vertical stream asked if I was a snake handling preacher part of Alabama. No, I'm not in the snake handling part. That's a little bit mid into towards Georgia, I believe. Mid and towards Georgia. That's where snake handling country is. I'm not from near there. Oh, Burcephus probably is going to go with us. And, I mean, oh, that's Philly. Burcephus probably will go with us. And yeah. Oh, Casey bought him a ticket. Did you buy him one of the pod tickets or did you stick his ass in economy like he deserves? You bought him a pod ticket? He's going to have to work hard for that ticket. Just saying. Washing cars are my car. Anyways, that's going to be it for the TED Talk tonight. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And we're going to get into the response video. Hold on, I don't have it up yet. Boo, 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 getting there. Okay, so I have to caveat the I have to kind of caveat it a little bit tonight, like the show, because there was a little bit of a problem with the video. I fixed it, but I just want to be transparent about it. Here is let me get off of this PC Presbyterian Church. All right, so here's the original video as it exists on YouTube, and this is what the mafioso saw. Sorry, not this part. Yeah, this is the original audio. All right, so I'm gonna just play a little bit for y'all.
What's good, YouTube? It's AP. I be dropping gems, heavy ones that you can work out with. So boom.
Yeah, and so the whole video is like this, like very mousy, high-pitched, kind of like Mickey Mouse, but, you know, well, I was going to say dumb, but, you know. I fixed it, right? And so this is what we're about to watch is the fixed audio. So just leading into this, I found this because it just says I have proof God exists. I watched it and I'm like, wow, this is some crazy shit. And so I let the Skeptic Mafia choose what video we did for tonight. And this is what they picked. Not we, they. I had my eyes set on other videos that were maybe a little bit better, maybe not so much better, but well, there was one from Eric over there on Testify that about how Luke Acts is saying Luke Acts' fiction is stupid. Oh, I plan on it. And so yeah, I didn't pick this. That's the point. But so we're going to be learning about this guy's proof for God. He thinks that he's got pretty good proof in crystals. And so I'm not going to sit here and say, no, that's crazy. I'm going to give him a chance. I mean, I think that it's crazy. Like, I definitely am of the persuasion this is fucking crazy. But we're going to give him a chance. We're going to see what he's got. And yeah, let's just get into it.
What's good, YouTube? It's AP. I'll be dropping gems, heavy ones that you can work out with. So boom. And that's the only time I'm about to say so boom.
Already he's lied to us. Because he said, so boom. And that's the only time I'm going to say, so boom. But, oh my God, he said so boom twice, but he said that he was only going to say it once. I mean, I get it. It's a little pedantic, a little nitpicky, but still, like, it doesn't bode well for the video. Limited Light says, I stole Surf 6 whiskey again, Fireball and Screwball. Well, tonight, I have Jack Daniel's Triple Mash mixed with Proper 12's Apple whiskey. And it's actually pretty good. Like, the Triple Mash gives it that nice kick that, you know, good whiskeys give you. But then the apple, the Proper 12 Apple is a lot less alcohol, like it has less alcohol in it. But it gives it that nice apple taste. And so it's pretty good. All right.
This download is about a supporter's question that he asked me. He asked me what was my perspective about God. So here it is, right? And I got this screen right here to help like visualize what I'm saying. So my perspective on God is this. And it's from a scientific standpoint, a logical standpoint.
Okay, let's orient ourselves, everybody, okay? All right, or get ready, get oriented, okay? This is logical, right? This is scientific. Right? Science has proved God. This guy's got the answers. All right, so if you're ready for your butthole to be bungled by science and logic, then get your buttholders holding, okay? My microphone arm is not ready for my bullshit.
So it's not really my perspective, it's just what I observe, right? And what scientists can prove. Science actually proves that we live in a creation.
Okay. Last I checked, science doesn't prove that. In fact, what science has concluded, as far as like, not that science has one like sole stance on everything, right? It's not like science is a person that has proclaimed something. But what the science has shown us is that natural processes don't require magic in order for them to occur. And so if you have a natural process or a natural explanation for something, that means that you don't need God or you don't need magic. And therefore, since everything that we have is either unexplained or it has a natural explanation for it, that means that there's a very small amount for God to exist within. And it's just in that unknowable portion of our reality, which is literally a God of the gaps argument.
Why? Okay. At the most smallest part of reality, you have atoms. And within atoms, there's 99% nothing. Boom.
Three booms. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Something in my room. Da 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 da. This guy's gonna continue to lie forever.
I said I wasn't going to say so boom, but I did. I'm sorry. I apologize, right?
I really don't give a fuck. Like, the only reason why I care right now is because that's the only, you said that was the only time that you were going to say it, but you're continuing to say it. Like, I don't understand. Just re-record the fucking video and just don't say anything about it, right?
You have atoms in you. Within those atoms is 99% nothing.
Casey said, "No, I don't. I have a John in me." That's right, honey. Oh, okay. So far, what he's saying is true. I mean, 99% of like what atoms are composed of is empty space, right? Like that's something that we have visualizations where we've ran tests and we've shown that is the case. Like virtual particles phase in and out, and that's just like energy changing states like really quickly. And so like the inside of an atom is mostly empty space. It ends up being mostly empty space. So yeah, I mean, this isn't all that difficult, but so far he's right.
Nothing. But that 99% nothing is something because you wouldn't be able to perceive it if it was nothing.
Well, nothing in the sense that like there's nothing that we can detect there necessarily. I wouldn't go as far as to say that it's literally absolutely nothing that's there. But we could still perceive it, you know, I guess. I don't know if that's really a good way to determine what is nothing, whether or not we can perceive it. Because there's a lot of things that we can't perceive but still exist, like gamma rays, X-rays, and all this other stuff. Different portions of the light spectrum that are not perceptible to us, but we have determined that they do exist because we can detect them with other instruments. Like, we've been able to build instruments to be able to detect these things. More advanced versions of this would be like gravitational waves. We can't perceive gravitational waves, but we have built instruments in order to detect them. And so I don't think that this is a good definition for what nothing is. I feel like you would need to refine this in order to fully define nothing in a way that actually is usable to us. Like, we can make use of this definition of nothing. The way that he's described it here just isn't useful at all.
Within the 99% nothing, there's a pattern of light. Some people call it the flower of life, but it's sacred geometry.
So within the nothing that comprises all atoms, there's sacred geometry that is a pattern of light. I don't understand this. Like, I don't understand how he gets that there's nothing, but within that nothing there's light. I'm not understanding this. Like, I'm not saying that he's wrong necessarily. It definitely from the outset seems like it's fucking wrong. Like, if you're going to say there's nothing there, then there's definitely not light there, right? If it's nothing like he's describing it, then light wouldn't be there because we can perceive light. Light is something that is perceptible to us as far as like how we're referencing light. It's the visible part of the electromagnetic spectrum. That is what light would be. I don't understand what he's considering to be light in this situation. Like, there's so many things that he's not defining, he's not describing exactly correctly. And so it seems really weird.
So with that being said, understand that you're pulling all these frequencies, and guess what?
Oh, shit, I don't know what, but am I pulling 95.1? Because that's the classical rock station here. Now, I would love it if I would just be able to be like, you know what? I could really use some ZZ Top. And then I hit my head or something and it tunes me into 95.1. And I was like, yeah, ZZ Top or AC/DC, like TNT, Dynamite. I'm sure that would get on KC's nerves, me laying in the bed at night, and then all of a sudden I start singing like the AC/DC song about balls. Great to big balls. Just middle of the night, automatically I just start playing Highway to Hell. Let's tune into these frequencies, y'all.
These frequencies not only can exist on the third dimension where we're at, but it can also exist in higher dimensions, such as the fourth dimension, which is called scientifically a tesseract.
Well, so a tesseract would be a 3D representation of the concept of a fourth dimension. Like in real space-time, time is the fourth dimension. So like you've got, like anytime you draw a 3D figure, you know, you get the X, Y, and the Z axis. Well, that's one moment in time. If you animate that over a period of time, that adds a fourth dimension to it, and so you can see how it changes over that period of time. And that makes up like this fourth dimension, if you will. So, I mean, as far as like all of this goes, this is where it gets into more quackery. I'm not sure if he understands what dimensions are or what the different nth dimensions mean or anything like that. Like I'm not claiming to fully understand it at all, but I do have a very basic understanding of the concepts in mathematics where you discuss like nth dimensional like stuff. And this is just not anything that's related to what he's talking about.
Or the fifth dimension, sixth, seventh, and eighth, right? I hope you're keeping up with me.
Oh, I'm keeping up with you there, bro. I mean, fuck. What about the 9th dimension, huh? Let's drop a bomb on this motherfucker. Let's go to the 10th. Well, but wait, then there's the 11th dimension. Holy shit, what are we going to do about the 11th one? What about the 12th one? Oh, fuck. You know what? Since there's no end to numbers, I don't know what the top out is. What is it? Let's go to the dimension. The 1,000,000th dimension. It contains all the other dimensions that exist below it.
I would have connected all, and I hope you're still here and it's making sense.
You don't know what you're talking about. So how can you hope to make sense to other people that are watching this and they don't understand this? And they're definitely not going to understand it with your poor explanation. Like, we got the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th dimensions out there. So, you know, believe in God, motherfucker.
So to bring it back to the 3rd dimension, you're a 3rd dimensional being. You can create a 2-dimensional universe on a computer through AI and through digital graphics and animation. You can create an animated series. You can create a whole character, a whole universe, and then you can put AI into those characters, and boom, now they have consciousness.
There's another fucking boom. Like, take a swig every time he says boom. So, that's on a 2-dimensional plane, but you're still adding time to that aspect. So, like for an animation, like a picture, yeah, sure, that's a 2-dimensional sort of figure. But I mean, once you add time to it, you're adding another dimension to it, you know? So, I mean, that doesn't mean that it's 3-dimensional space, right? But as we understand it, as we can depict like these other dimensions, we still have to render these other dimensions in an artistic representation that's represented in a 3-dimensional space, and that can be quite difficult to like represent that artistically. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what he's getting at here.
And that's a 2-dimensional creation from a 3rd-dimensional being. So that will be the micro, as above, so below. Mind you,
as above, so below. That sounds like something from the Bible, and it's a concept where in the heavens there exist perfect copies of everything that exists on earth. So when they say as above, so below, that means in the celestial realm or the heavens, which would be starting at the firmament right above the earth, there are perfect copies of everything that happens here on earth, and everything that exists and everything that happens. So if there are perfect copies in heaven, then, you know, like there's copies of cities and temples, and like different practices are still being practiced up there in heaven. Like there's masses that occur up in heaven and all this other stuff. So, I mean, that's what it means. As is above, so is below. So below, that kind of thing is what that means.
there's other dimensions that are higher. What's good, you?
So sorry. Hold on. Continue for the previous spot. Okay, got back to it. I meant to pause it because he's acting like the celestial realm, as far as the people that wrote the Bible or these traditional religious ideas go, exist in another dimension. Like, as far as like we're thinking Marvel dimensions, right? Like a different timeline, like a different branch of the sacred timeline. That's what he kind of makes it out to be like. That's not, like, mathematically speaking, that's not what the dimensions are that he's talking about. So there's a bit of a disconnect here between when we're talking about like these dimensions that exist above our third dimension, third dimensional space. You know, when you're talking about all of that, you're talking about it from a more mathematical perspective and everything like that. He's thinking about like Marvel dimensions, like Marvel extra dimensions, other branches of the sacred timeline. Marjorie Taylor Greene lives in another dimension. There's another dimension where Marjorie Taylor Greene is worse. Yeah, infinitely worse. She's infinitely worse, and then that blends into infinitely better.
So with that being said, I want you guys to all, after this video, look up a quasi-crystal.
All right, quasi-crystal. Sorry. I know I'm having to stop a lot. He's getting a lot of like technical things wrong, and so I have to stop every once in a while in order to reorient y'all. I looked up quasi-crystals, and to be honest, I had never needed to look these up, but quasi-crystals are basically crystals that were supposedly impossible to exist, because crystals, what they do is they depend on repeatability. Like there's a lattice structure where it repeats over and over and over again. Quasi-crystals, they are crystals that form that don't have such an easily repeatable pattern. And what he's talking about here with the scientists in Las Vegas, I haven't verified that they're in Las Vegas, but there were scientists that created a quasi-crystal that developed patterns that were not repeatable. Like they didn't repeat, right? And they did this by putting a bunch of metal balls in a juggler or shaker or something. Like they shook a bunch of metal balls together for about a week, right? And they were able to get a structure in the balls that didn't repeat. And so they know that it's possible. Now, that's the biggest idea. Like before, it was claimed to be impossible to get a crystalline structure that didn't repeat. And now we know that it's at least possible because they've already, done it in a brute force way.
So scientists in Las Vegas, quantum physicists in Las Vegas, they created a 8-dimensional crystal, and then they turned that 8-dimensional crystal to a certain angle, and it casted a shadow of a 4th-dimensional tesseract, and then they turned that 4th-dimensional tesseract shadow at a certain angle, and then that created a 3rd-dimensional sphere.
How do you turn a shadow? Like, I guess maybe they... Okay, for one thing, any representation of like an 8th-dimensional object would be a 3-dimensional representation of what they think an 8th-dimensional object would look like, right? I wasn't able to find anything about this, but even so, this is all shit that's happening in 3-dimensional like space. And so it has literally no bearing on his argument, because all of this right here, even if we were able to get our hands on and test a truly 8-dimensional object, then whatever like way we can manipulate the shadows and all this other stuff, like that would just be a property of the mathematical properties of the object. Like these would be intrinsic properties of what it means to be an 8th-dimensional object, like he's talking about. But also another important thing to say here is that quasi-crystals are not 8th-dimensional objects. Quasi-crystals are just crystals that have no easily repeatable pattern in their lattice structure. And we were able to create that by jiggling these metal balls together, and we were able to show that those patterns can show up, like these patterns that don't repeat, right? That can happen. That's what quasi-crystals are. And we've also been able to use quasi-crystals in like the skillet lining that does the non-stick stuff. Well, there's Teflon, but they mentioned the stuff that I read mentioned other things that they were able to use these quasi-crystals in, and one of them was cookware, and so like to make non-stick pans. And I think that it was probably, I don't know if it was Teflon or if it was something else, but the hex clads do look like they have crystals in them. I mean, they're hex clad. But my point is that he's trying to make this argument from shadows, from an 8th-dimensional crystal that he's calling a quasi-crystal, but that's not what a quasi-crystal is.
So I said that to say this. The creator is always sending us messages, God. Some people say Yahweh, some people say Allah, some people say Jesus. I just say Elohim.
Well, that makes you sound like a Jehovah's Witness. Like, if you're going to call God Elohim, that's what Jehovah's Witnesses call God. And last time I checked, Jehovah's Witnesses were not all that accepting of other denominations of Christianity. Like, Jehovah's Witnesses, if I'm not mistaken, believe in 144,000 individuals that will go to heaven. The rest of us are going to get reincarnated here on earth and are forced to live out a normal existence on earth for eternity. If that doesn't cause you to scream bullshit right now, like it should, because like if I have to, well, as long as I have KC, I'm perfectly fine. But like if I don't have KC, like what the fuck?
Right. Because there could be multiple entities on these higher dimensions past the Tesseract.
Again, the Tesseract is just an object meant to represent a fourth dimensional object. Jehovah. You know, that makes more sense. Elohim is Mormon. Sorry, I thought that Jehovah's Witnesses called God a specific thing, but of course it's in the name, Jehovah. So Mormons call God Elohim. Okay, thank you so much there, Platonic Cuddler. I appreciate that. Yeah, so Jehovah's Witnesses, obviously Jehovah. I don't know why that didn't dawn on me right now.
Okay, so we're always getting messages sent down. And how do you know it's being sent down? Why do we always looking up and praying up to God and all that good stuff?
Well, so why do we look up to pray to God? Well, obviously the original people that started the religion of Christianity thought that God literally was up. Yeah, they believed in a firmament. They believed that God existed in the highest levels of heaven. And where were the highest levels of heaven? All the fuck way up there, where they couldn't get to. So, I mean, that's why.
It's because it really is perspective. Even if you were in your body and looking down at some ants or looking in the computer, you're looking down on that. That's why we always look up.
Impeccable logic. Fucking impeccable here. It's all about perspective. When you look down at ants, they look up at you. Therefore, we look up at God just like ants look up at us. My guess is that ants don't know we exist. But we have this indication that God exists. We look up to him because ancient people thought that up is where heaven was. God damn.
You see what I'm saying?
No.
That's why we always look up to pray to God. That's why we always look down when we think of lower negative things. It's because it really is all perspective based off the dimension that you're in. So there's higher dimensions, aka heaven.
Huh? Tornadoes are negative and they come from the fucking skies, what KC said. And yeah, they do. But also, we look down because it's always been perceived that, like, down is, I guess, the underworld. Like, even before Christianity formed, the underworld is where down is. And it's not that there's a different dimension down there because early people, ancient people, they thought that down, like inside the earth, was where the underworld physically was. Like, if you died on the surface of the earth, you know, you literally went down into the earth and you were in the underworld. Even in Judaism, like, there was not this concept of hell or heaven. There's just the underworld or Hades. And then when Christianity comes into effect, they have this whole idea of monotheism and also this idea of heaven and hell. Satan rules hell while Jesus and God and everybody like that, they rule heaven. And so if you want to go to heaven, you obey Jesus. If you're going to go to hell, then, you know, you're fucked in hell by Satan with a pineapple up your ass. And that's the reason why. Like, it's not this whole dimensional aspect to it. Like, it's not that ancient peoples were like, oh yes, there's another dimension below our feet, and that's why we look down. Because it makes no sense on a fucking oblate spheroid of a planet. It just doesn't make fucking sense to look down for a different goddamn dimension.
AKA the astral plane, ethereal plane. Whoa. I said
fucking hollow earth bullshit.
I wasn't gonna say it, but I said it the third time. I apologize. So,
you know, like, I just wonder if I find, like, if I'm at a poker game, right? I've been playing poker a lot. If I'm at a poker game and a guy beside me, you know, beats me at a hand in poker, and I reach over and I punch him in the face, I'm like, I'm sorry, I said I wasn't going to do that. I apologize. Does that make it okay? Like, if I say, hey man, I promise I'm not going to punch you tonight. Hopefully the first thing is like, wait, what? You're not going to punch me? Why would you need to say that? I would hope that would be his first reaction, but let's just say, I'm not going to punch you tonight. And then later on he beats me and I'm like, BAP! And I punch him. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to punch you. I'm really sorry about that. Does that make it okay? If you're going to say, I'm not going to say boom, and then you continue throughout your video to say boom, and you're like, I apologize. I know I said I wasn't going to do that, but I'm sorry. I apologize. It's not violent, but I'm just saying, like, it's the same thing. Like, I'm sorry. I said I wasn't going to say boom. Like, don't even make that promise, like, at the very beginning. I don't know. This is very pedantic of me. I get it. Like, I get this is pedantic. But it's just personally annoying to me. Maybe it's my ADHD or some shit, but, like, it grinds on me.
I just want everybody to understand that they are entities on different dimensions. That's why some people say they see shadow beings or they had a hag on them, and the hat, man. Do your own research about
that. I mean, I feel like that should be like the tagline for all conspiracy theorists. Do your own research. Like, I mean, I advocate for people, like, doing the work, learning the material, and everything like that. I've tried to stay away from do your own research about it just because of the connotation that has been taken up by, like, conspiracy theorists like this guy. But, like, you know, researching religious history, researching religious theology, researching all that stuff is good, but do it. Don't just, like, go out there to, like, Gesundheit. Don't go out there to, like, Chrome and just type it in and, like, pull up the first fucking crazy blog that conforms with what you want to believe in, right? Like, read real scholarship. This guy, do your own research. It feels like a dog whistle for conspiracy theorists to just, like, listen to anybody that already agrees with you so that you can feel better about saying the bullshit that you're saying.
Astral projection and all these different shadow beings that people see and stuff like that. But that's what it is.
Shadow beings. That's what it is. They're shadow beings, y'all. And they're just different dimensional beings that are visiting our plane of existence. How are you going to prove that? Like, what's the physical mechanism that allows an nth dimensional being to visit a lower dimension? Like, what does that even fucking mean? And why is it that these dimensions work a lot like the MCU? Why is it that, you know, these shadow beings can visit our universe? And you know, what's it going to take for us to visit theirs? How can we project ourselves into a higher fucking dimension? Also, why is it hierarchical? Like, the whole dimension aspect to it. Like, I get in mathematics why we have the nth dimension. Like, you know, all the different dimensions. Like, I get that mathematically, But he's talking about these dimensions like they're separate planes of existence, and that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, how do you square that, like, at all?
That's what it is. You always see about the corner of your eye and stuff like that because you're tapping into a different visible part of light spectrum.
So, I mean, we can develop instruments to detect various parts of the visible, or not visible light spectrum, but the light spectrum. If it's the visible light spectrum, then you're not tapping into like a different dimension. As far as science knows, as far as we know, we can't see different dimensions through the light spectrum unless we are physically in those dimensions, right? Like, as far as we know, that's the only way it's possible. But he's acting like, oh, you see out the corner of your eye some kind of shadow being, and that's you glancing into a different dimension's light spectrum. I feel like that's what he's saying. But why is that preferable to just your brain interpreting not static information, noise? Why can't that just be your brain interpreting noise to be some kind of signal, right? That indicates that, oh, there's somebody over there. Like that's literally what's happening, but he prefers to view it as a different dimension. Can you imagine thinking that you see something out of your corner of your eye and it turns out to be a coat? But this guy's like, oh no, man, that was just a different dimensional being. You looked into a different dimension. You are so fucking awesome, bro. Look into another dimension now. Oh, did you see that? Oh, I did.
So like you have ultraviolet rays, gamma rays. Your eyes can only see the visible light spectrum, but when you see out the peripheral of your eyes, you can actually tap into a different part of the light spectrum. So boom.
Boom, 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 boom. Why don't you come into my room? Mr. Shadow Being will be being forever. Something, I don't know. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, you want me in your room? I already sleep in your room. Oh, shit.
Electromagnetic field. Sorry, excuse myself.
Well, okay, so to address the whole looking into a different portion of the visible light spectrum, that makes no sense. Like the visible light spectrum is the visible light spectrum. It's a spectrum of light that we can see, or a spectrum of the electromagnetic field that we can see, like humans can see. Other animals like bees are a good example. There are other animals in the natural world that can see other portions of the visible of the light spectrum, of the electromagnetic spectrum. When we mention the visible light spectrum, that is just what humans can see, because we are the ones that develop that label to describe the portion of the light spectrum that we can see, right? Visibly see, like with our eyes. So, I mean, none of this makes sense.
That's my perspective on God. My perspective on God is God exists. There is a creator. We are in the image of God. That's why we say the little g versus the big G. It's kind of like...
Okay, so I'm not exactly sure what denomination or anything that this goes into, but it may still be Mormon. Maybe somebody can illuminate that for me in the comments. But as far as like what he's saying right here, I don't care if he believes in God. Like, I really don't. Like, it's fine if he believes that God exists and that God is an nth dimensional being that you can only see out of the corner of your eye, because for some reason out of the corner of your eye you can see into different dimensions. I mean, that's fine if he wants to believe that, but don't try to get me to believe it. And also don't post a video on YouTube saying that you have proof of God, because this is not proof of God. This is not proof that God exists. This is proof that you have crazy fucking views and that you have a phone that you could record a screen with, which, by the way, really grates on my gears. You could ask KC about it. I fucking hate it when you take a picture of a screen with your phone and then you send it to me. That shit boils my fucking blood. Okay? He's literally making the entire video while filming another fucking screen. Get proper editing equipment if you're going to fucking put videos on YouTube.
You have the power of God within you, because at that subatomic level, the pattern of the 99% nothing is sacred geometry, and it's just the micro, but the macro is sacred geometry as well. So if you can tap into the sacred geometry within yourself through thought.
Tap, listen guys, okay, come bring it in close. Tap into the sacred geometry that's within each and every one of you. All right, I'm just telling you right now, tap into it. Get deep inside that brown chakra, huh? Tappy into that brown chakra that's just right there at your asshole, okay? Focus in on it. Align yourselves with your intestines so that you can have a nice pooful shit later, all right? All right, it's going to be the glorious shit, the best shit that you've ever had, okay? It's in your brown chakra. It moves up to your inner green chakra, wherever in the fuck that might be, because I don't fucking know. I don't believe in any of this bullshit. But listen, you got to get that sacred geometry all up in that green chakra and have it move up into your pink chakra, wherever in the fuck that might be. I don't know where it is. Might be in your toes, could be in your heart. Who knows? Just feel it all filling up in there. Have it move all the way up into your noggin chakra, whatever color that chakra is. Have it move all the way up in there, and then you burp. Oh, and that's how you burp. Wait, what were we talking about? I don't know either. Limited Light sent $1, and that's what we care about. Thank you, Limited Light. I appreciate that.
Which is nothing more than frequencies. That you're tapping into that God power, that power to create, you know what I'm saying, or that power to manifest, or that power to attract what it is that you want in your life.
Can you imagine having the power to manifest? Like, that feels like an X-Men power. Like, you know, it's like, I am Manifestor. I can manifest anything. Look, whiskey. It's good whiskey, too.
And that's why people say, you know, victim mentalities are bad, because you have the power of God within you. So that's my take on it.
If you have the power of God within you, like, how awesome is that power? Like, what does the power of God mean? I have the power to destroy entire nations? Maybe I fucking shouldn't have this power. Like, like, does Trump have this power to destroy entire nations? I mean, his fucking legal team's trying to give him that power by arguing for immunity in the way that they are. I mean, they literally said that Trump, it could be taken as a necessary action? An official act. It could be taken as an official act for the president to take out his political rival if he deems him to be a threat. So if the president's political rival is a threat to the American people and to the American government.
Not that they are a threat, if they perceive them to be a threat.
Right. Well, sorry, I thought that I preceded my thing. If he perceived them to be a threat to the American government, to the American people, he could take him out with SEAL Team fucking 6. Do you think that that's a good fucking idea, considering that Biden is the current president and you want the Supreme Court to make a rule that says the president is immune from prosecution for taking out his political rival? Is that the smartest fucking thing right now?
My take on it, and I try to keep it as simple as possible. I hope that didn't go over most people's head. I try to keep a visual up. Yeah, man, I be dropping gems, bro.
What does that mean? What does dropping fucking gems mean? I'll be dropping heavy gems. What does that mean? Like, Does he mean like songs or like beats for you to like work out to and everything like that? Because like I could definitely do some overhead presses like this, like to some beats. Like, you got any Matt Powell talking about how Confederates hunted fucking pterodactyls and Loch Ness monsters? Like, I'll fucking work out to that. I didn't get my workout in today, so, you know.
I'm dropping heavy gems, man. It's AP, bro.
It's AP. Is that advanced placement or is that something else? I don't know. I was in advanced placement classes. Like, I had AP biology. It was just me and 3 senior chicks. Like, when I was in 11th grade, they were in 12th grade, and I was like, I have a class where it's just me and 3 other girls. And I liked that class when I was going through high school. I'm just saying, like, I was a smart motherfucker. I mean, it was biology, and the only thing that I did right was the first semester. The second semester was zoology, where we had to like memorize like taxidermy. We had to memorize like zoology and shit, not taxidermy. I was thinking of something else that begins with taxonomy. Taxonomy, not taxidermy. What the fuck am I talking about? Anyways, that's going to be it for our video tonight. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Everybody over there on the Vert stream, y'all are going to be leaving us right now. I hope that you appreciated tonight's, topics and everything. Let me know what you thought about the news stuff that was going on. Let me know about the comments. I'd really love to read your comments down below if you would like to leave your thoughts down there. And I hope that you'll subscribe if you're not already subscribed. So, if you will, please go down below, smash that subscribe button, and I will see you heathens later. Don't forget to stand up, use your voice, and all that kind of good shit. Bye, heathens. All right, Vert stream's over, and now we just got everybody on the normal stream. How y'all doing? All right, hold on. I gotta end. I forgot. Gotta actually end the stream over there. Yes, but don't go. All right, got that ended. And now we need to get to the comments. Hey, we got Skeptic Mafia comments. If you guys don't know, the Skeptic Mafia is a pretty awesome group that, you are a member here on the channel, and you get access to emojis. You get to pick the video for Friday nights, and you get to leave a comment on the video that we go over, which is what I'm getting to right now. I'm pulling up the posts. While I'm doing that, I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. I know I did. I don't know if we've got too many comments. Looks like we just got about 6 tonight. Boom! So boom, 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 boom. Skeptic Mafia in my room. No? Casey says that she likes y'all and everything, but no. Trickster says, I am writing this part before I watch the vid because I already know that this guy is probably not going to have any idea of what proof is. Shit. There we go. Now y'all can't see my face. I believe he is going to start by poisoning the well and then making up definitions. Even though they may seem to some to back up what he's saying, I'm willing to bet that the definitions will be incomplete at best and outright disingenuous at worst. Okay, so I could not watch this due to him making himself sound like a Smurf. I knew that was probably going to be a problem. I managed to get through it, but that's just because I was looking for content that I could possibly respond to and give to y'all. And so, like, I felt like I represented his video well. It's just that I didn't tell you that he was speaking with Mickey Mouse voice. But anyways, I don't understand his reasoning for this decision when he wants to try to convince people that he is serious. At least he had the forethought to put CC in his vid, as this decision makes it hard to understand him. Oh, closed caption, right. What more can I say? I did not hear anything that changes my mind about God or the fact that there is proof of design, and that these things can't have a natural explanation. It may be a nitpick, but I don't think that he was right when he said that the atom is the smallest particle in existence. Well, true. Sorry if I missed that. It's not, because on the quantum level, like we have subatomic particles. For some reason, the names of them are escaping me right now. Any other day, I'd be able to tell you, but right now I can't think of the quarks. There are quarks. Quarks are subatomic particles. So yeah, they're not the smallest things that exist. We know that there are smaller things. So I mean, yeah. Let's see. After all, the atom is made up of even smaller particles such as neutrons and electrons, and not to mention the nucleus. These would have to be smaller than an atom, as they are part of the atom. Not a good start. I would say that the finish was no better. I didn't even consider going there, because I was thinking, like, what's the smallest particle that we know exists? That would be quarks, and quarks are definitely smaller than like neutrons and protons. So I mean, but neutrons and protons and electrons, those are smaller than atoms. So I mean, even that would prove him wrong, is, them being the smallest particles that exist. Wash your hands, use your voice, never give up these people any room to lie and mislead people. Make them step up their game. Sorry, I don't know why I tried to turn that into a song. And show you something that is at least worth consideration. I long to see someone come up with something new and at least challenge me. I agree with that last part. That's why I consistently search for proof that God exists. Like, that's a search term I literally put into YouTube. And I try to really open myself up to people of different ideas that think that they can prove that God exists. And I listen to them wholeheartedly, try to prove that God exists, but none of them seem to be able to do that. Mr. Hanachek says, holy fucking crap. I got approximately 2.5 minutes in before the nonsense of this person's stupidity stopped me and made this comment. We are technically fourth dimensional beings because we actually live in a spot called time that keeps moving forwards. Yeah, exactly. Holy crap, I'm guessing this person has never read A Wrinkle in Time. The first dimension is the second dimension is a line. The third dimension is what we see around us. The fourth dimension is time itself, meaning us moving through. And the fifth dimension is technically the tesseract or a wrinkle. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video here and wait for the dumpster fire that we call GE's channel tonight, and I hope that he can use a fire extinguisher of truth and honesty to extinguish this dumpster fire of a video. Thank you, Mr. Hanachek. Yeah, I mean, from a mathematical standpoint, I understand nth dimensional spaces, but from like a practical or physical aspect, I don't really. I'm not as well versed in different dimensions in that kind of way. I only know it from a mathematical perspective, and from a mathematical perspective, it's only like theoretical. Like, all these dimensions are theoretical in nature. And so to represent these other dimensions, we have to import them into a three-dimensional space and try to artistically represent them as a three-dimensional object. And so that's where I was coming from on it. Kevin Beeler says, I'm glad that the video has subtitles because I couldn't understand the narration. There were a few mistakes with the translation, like mixing up atom versus atom, but I think it will be good one for a reaction video. Thank you, Kevin. I thought so too. Mark Fernkoff says, what the boom did I just watch? Boom, 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 boom. Sorry, I'll try not to say boom, but boom. I know I voted for this, but boom, I did not know what I was voting for. Boom. I just kept waiting for the guy to yell, Alvin! And started admonishing this chipmunk for getting into his acid. Holy boom! Tesseracts and sacred booming geometry. And what's this boom about scientists in Vegas, of all places, creating an 8th-dimensional crystal with a 4th-dimensional shadow? Boom! What are you smoking and where can I get some? Boom! Shadow people and Slendermen and Mothmen are agents of God or something like that. Boob! I can't believe I've been watching GE for years and never thought to join the Skeptic Mafia before. It's so awesome. Well, in the spirit of this booming video, how about some nonsensical song for that for some reason is always in my head. Magical pandas dance in your sleep, gnawing on your face 'cause it's made of meat. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Doctor Who is the greatest show ever. Let's all shout. Doctor Who is the greatest show ever. That's it. I hope that was a good song. Boom! Hey, heathens, when this is over, head on over to Apologia Live to join us for Toast to Toast AM. Tonight, we learned all about who's living on the moon. Okay, I got to get back to door dashing now, but before I go, I want to give a shout out to the greatest goddess ever, the unholy enchantress herself, the gorgeous goddess Candy Black. I love you, babe. Boom. Who's Candy Black? Yeah, I thought so too. I was like, Casey! Yeah. Tomato Cuddle says, I'm just going to drop my ASCII because tonight's extremely busy. Lol. So yeah, ASCII time. And it's just a double face palm, like through the face. Double nuclear face palm on this because every time someone says they have proof of God, it merits a double nuclear face palm. But if you don't want to face palm yourself out of existence, go ahead and give that like button a huge lick. Or I'll platonically lick you. Go ahead and smash the subscribe as well as ding the dinger so YouTube notifies you and stuff. And if you really want to go ahead and join the Skeptic Mafia, insert a random shilling here. At some point in May, might happen to get back to making the podcast. We definitely want to. It's just a matter of finding the time to do it. And we've just been really busy with other stuff. So... yeah, not for the next couple of weeks. It'll be either the end of May or the beginning of June if it happens. So there's that. It's going to happen eventually because we're going into political season. There's going to be a whole bunch of political shit happening. And you know how KC loves to get all long-winded about political shit. So if you want to hear KC on the mic, join the Skeptic Mafia because that'll happen. You'll get to hear her. And remember, KC is always right. I will listen to KC's recommendations. KC is the goddess we all deserve. Eat your fruits and veggies and drink some water and tomato out. You know, I've drank a lot of water today. I've got my whiskey, right? But I've also got Protein 2O. I'm not sponsored or anything like that, but Protein 2O is what I use to get all the protein I need since I cut out 80% of my stomach. Yeah, but we do buy so much of Protein 2O. I'd totally shill for them every stream. I'd start every stream like, hey, have you drank 3 bottles of Protein 2O today to get all the protein you need for the entire day? Go ahead and do it now. It's actually really good. It's a lot like Bywater. I don't know if you guys have had Bywater, but like the flavors are a lot like Bywater and you get a lot of protein with it. Finally, we got Doubtful Form who says, is Stephen Hawking huffing helium? Yes! That's who it was. It was Stephen Hawking huffing helium, coming back from the dead, telling us about his extra-dimensional forms. That's all that was. Thank you so much there, Doubtful Form. Hey, I mean, I went in with Audacity and I pitched him down enough to where he sounded normal. So I think that's probably how he really sounds. I just couldn't handle the Mickey Mouse voice. It was really hard to understand. I am glad that he had closed captioning because that was the only way that I could really fully understand what he was saying. But it also helped when he was just speaking normally. So Dude, if you're watching this, just speak normally. Nobody will know that it's you. I get that you're wanting to be a bit anonymous with it, but trust me, nobody's going to be able to match your voice to your face or anything like that, okay? Just saying. Like, just doing normal shit. Anyways, that's going to be it for our show tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know that I enjoyed being with y'all. Y'all are awesome over there. I'm seeing everybody in the comments. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I got to go and get Xander to bed. I've also got to figure out something to eat because I have not eaten dinner yet today, and I could probably use a little bit of dinner. Yep, I just checked my sugar, and I could probably use some dinner. So we're gonna head on out, and I don't know if I'll see you guys tomorrow or not. I got some shit to do in the morning, but I might end up doing some game streaming. If I do game stream, I'm going to put it right here in the chat. If you want to catch me game streaming tomorrow, just go to that link in the chat right there. I believe that'll take you directly to my channel. Yes, directly to the channel. So if you want to come by, say hi, watch me play some video games, I'll be over there maybe tomorrow before Casey gets home. And other than that, I guess y'all have an awesome night. Go watch Toast to Toast AM over there on Apologia Live's channel. Apologia is a great content creator, so definitely go check him out. And I will see you heathens later. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.